and magazines, catalogues and empty boxes, cartons and wrapping paper, office files and receipts, paper bags and cardboard, letters, packets, music, books.
Paper! Paper!
Papers made from wood pulp. Wood pulp comes from overseas. Means shipping space we can't afford. And merchant ships. And seamen's lives. Save that paper. Save that scrap.
Paper! Paper!
Paper scrap makes many things. Things we need to win the war. Anti-aircraft shell containers, carriers for bombs and shells, washers for mortar bombs and smoke bombs and very lights, boxes for cartridges, aero engine dust covers, cut-out targets, gun fuses, cartridge wads and plugs for shells, made from paper, made from... Save that paper, save that scrap.
On the nation to go to it, and how well we have responded. We are producing more food on our farms and in our allotments and gardens. Factories are working as they've never worked before, night and day. Hundreds of thousands of these workers are giving every moment of their spare time to voluntary national service. The fact is that all at home now are in the front line. Everywhere, men, women, and even children are bracing themselves to contribute all they can. In the vital matter of salvage, too, there has been a wonderful response, but there is still more to be done. We must save every scrap of waste paper, metal and bone that comes into our homes. Let's go into an average household and see what we can find. You believe, no doubt quite sincerely, that you are saving everything, madam. Those old newspapers, for example, well, of course, that's very good, but it's not enough. What you really need is an old box or a sack hanging behind the kitchen door. If you would allow me, there. And every single scrap of paper should find its way into that bag. Hi, you round the tomatoes. You're needed, you know. There's plenty of glass dishes about. And you're a letter from Aunt Emily, aren't you? In you go. And that bus ticket, too. Come along, no good trying to hide yourself. Come along. Now, don't turn back right on the brink. Take the plunge. That's it. And now, madam, we will ask your cupboard to open up, please. Goodness, what a hoard. Now, all the paper that's not needed, kindly proceed to the sack in an orderly manner, a few sheets remaining behind in case of parcels. Here, wait a minute. We've left you some paper around the rhubarb. You don't need that. Nor the cake carton you've thrown into the bin under the sink. And add that scrap of paper pinned to the cabinet. Oh, I beg your pardon. That's your marmalade recipe. Hey, come back. What's that pile of magazines on the shelf? Fashion books you want to keep? Well, some of them date back donkey's years. Since when, madam, have you chosen your dresses from fashions as old as that? Here's two fairly up to date. Supposing you keep those, and put the rest in the sack. Thank you. Ah, a bureau. As I thought, chock-a-block with papers. Have you ever thought how little of this you really need? Into the bag with all you. And what are you waiting for? You're her marriage certificate. Oh, well, you'd better go back. Ladies like to keep documents like you. Now, what about all that stuff on top of the wardrobe upstairs? More cardboard boxes? Come along, down you all get. And now the nursery. As I thought, comics. Fly along down to the kitchen, my friend. Buck up. Be a little bit more like a spitfire and less like a seagull. And don't forget the cupboard under the stairs. Easy on some of you, there's a little one getting squashed. You remind me of myself trying to get on a bus. And so, you see, by making a thorough search into every nook and corner of the house, we not only have a stack of folded newspapers, but all this. Just multiply that by the 10 million homes all over the country, and you will get some idea of the enormous amount we can recover. You'd hardly believe it, but thousands of tons of paper are being wasted out of doors. One still sees evidence of the litter bug everywhere. It's bad enough in peacetime to litter the parks and streets with waste paper, but in wartime it's a crime. So when you've finished with your ice cream, don't just chuck the carton away. You never know where it may land. And it's wanted for huts, not hats. Keep all your sweet cartons and cigarette packets till you get home. Then add them to your collection. So first, save paper in your homes. Second, don't be a litter bug in public. And third, keep the paper you save clean. Public enemy number 1 is the dustbin. Public enemy number 2 is the stove, not to mention the fireplace. Every week, remove the paper from the sack, fold it, and bundle it neatly. It helps the dustman. So much for paper, but remember, scrap metal is equally important. Literally, thousands of tons of old pots and pans and tins can be recovered, not forgetting empty toothpaste tubes. And by the way, your milkman will be glad to have the aluminium milk bottle tops back again. Here are all sorts of articles which are being unearthed from attics, cupboards under the stairs, gardens, sheds, garages, all of the greatest value. Old iron bedsteads, wire mattresses, fenders, lawn mowers, but you know the sort of things that collect over the years as well as we do. Every scrap should be salvaged for war purposes. Those who live in the country will be able to find all sorts of discarded farm implements, harrows, ploughs, wheels, and it doesn't matter if those things are rusty. And bones. You know, of course, that bones have got to be saved now. Even after you have boiled them and squeezed all the goodness out of them, even after Spot has gnawed them, they will provide raw materials for half a dozen vital war requirements. Just to mention 3, glycerine for high explosives, glue for aeroplanes, glue is also used in camouflage and fire-resisting paints, and fertilizers rich in nitrogen and phosphates. If every householder saved 2 ounces of bones a week, there would be 20,000 tons available every year. Here you see a great dump of scrap metal. The people of this district have done very well. I hope you are doing the same in yours. And after it has been sorted at the yards and a magnet crane has helped to carry it away, it is turned into steel, out of which come the battleships, the tanks, the guns, all our munitions of war. And there are many uses for waste paper, too, besides the obvious one of being pulped down to provide more paper. It provides cases for food containers for the army, wadding for bullets. Did you know that one old envelope can provide the wad for 1 bullet? It provides cases for rifles and shells and huts for soldiers to live in. The call for munitions is urgent. We need every ship and every ounce of tonnage for victory. If everybody in the country responds as they should, we shall recover 5,000 to 10,000 tons of paper, about 400 tons of bones, and 10,000 tons of scrap metal every week. But remember, it all depends on you. And to emphasize the importance of this matter, here is the controller of salvage himself, Mr. H.G. Judd.
After seeing this film, you can't be in any doubt as to the importance of salvage work in our war economy, nor as to what you should be doing in your own home. Good salvage habits, you see, after all, are a part of good housekeeping and good citizenship. And they're the part you can play in the scheme of wartime production. It's essential to secure the maximum recovery of these raw materials, just as it's essential to maintain the maximum production in munition factories. It may happen that the material which you and your council have collected isn't always removed as quickly or as regularly as you and I would wish. But remember that enemy action does sometimes affect our storehouses and mills, and that all forms of transport are carrying a very heavy load. Nevertheless, the country's need for these materials is real, very real, and will increase as our total war effort increases. So efficient salvage must be a matter of habit, and not merely of occasional drives and periodic enthusiasm. To waste at any time is folly, but in wartime, it's not only a folly, but a crime. Now, the yield of salvage per person in different districts varies much more than local conditions justify, and in some districts it's inexcusably low. You can change all this. You and your council can make your local scheme a real success. If you find difficulties, ask your council about them, and if necessary, write to my department. And if you don't play up, I hope your council will talk to you. And so, despite discouragements and difficulties, keep doggedly on. and from the waste material of our homes, we shall forge weapons of victory. But do please remember, it all depends on you.